So here we have a 2015 Chevrolet Malibu. This one comes in the LT trim level in butte red metallic. And then we have jet black cloth and leatherette interior. And the powertrain consists of a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, made it to a 6-speed automatic transmission. And we have a little over 123,000 miles on this one. But as we come around to the front end here, halogen headlamps still seem to be good working shape. There's a little bit of front bumper lip damage, it looks like. That might just be part of it, or maybe, I don't know. But we do have just a few rock chips on the front, but nothing crazy here. Still, for 123,000 miles, if it hasn't been repainted or anything, that's pretty good, especially around here in Tennessee where they tear the roads up quite a bit. But over here we have 17-inch aluminum wheels, a little bit of curb rash there. Should all be fixable without having to replace the wheel. And we do get one-touch automatic down on the driver as well as the front passenger. And then we have our power door lock controls here. And our power mirror controls are here. We can pick aside and adjust and then turn them off there. And then the back two windows are also expressed down. Then we have our rear window lock there, a bottle holder, and then additional storage. Headlamp controls, there's your auto mode there. You can toggle that on and off by turning there, and then you can adjust your gauge cluster brightness there. Let's go ahead and pop the hood. Little storage in there. Manual tilt telescope steering wheel, just pull that down to adjust. And then here we have our power driver's seat with power lumbar support. And that seat's actually seems to have held up. Just a little bit of the stitching is coming off the leatherette, but other than that, it looks perfect. But I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. So as we come back here, there's the leg room there. And one of the best things that Chevy did with the outgoing model when they refreshed it for, well, they basically redesigned it for 2016, was making the leg room back here much better. But 2 cup holders here and a little storage pocket there. And that's nice to have. Seat back pockets on both sides. And then up here, grab handle, we can hang 1 or 2 metal hooks on that hook there. But all in all, I like the interior for it to just be that cloth and leatherette. But coming around to the back end here, just a few scrapes on this back bumper, just from loading stuff in and out. And then to open it from the back, you can just push here, pull up, tons of cargo space. And then here is where you can get to your battery if you ever need to do that. And this one also had an optional cargo tray or cargo net. Let's see if I can lift this up here. And that's where your tire inflator kit is. You can also get a spare, I believe, as well. But going around to the rear passenger side, if you want to fold the seat down, click that there. Seats will fold flat. You can run longer objects from the back to the front, and pretty easy to lock it back into place. Your top tethers are there, and then your anchors are pretty easy to get to right there. And then here we have the signature kind of power seat bottom, where it just lifts the whole seat up, and then you can adjust the seat back manually and the seat bottom back and forth manually. The glove compartment is here, pretty good size. That's similar to the 16 Malibus, I will say that. I remember that from having 2 of those. And this one just has, so I'm looking around here, just a few nicks and scratches on the front doors as well. But there's that 2.5 liter Ecotec 4-cylinder engine. Hydraulics are still good on the hood here. But all in all, definitely a good, cheap car. Again, a little bit more just small dings and dents. But hopping in the driver's seat here, vinyl wrap steering wheel, still seems to be in good shape. Turn the fan speed down a little bit here. And then to the radio, this is our home screen. So we do get AM, FM, XM radio, along with Bluetooth audio. And then we also have an aux input. And then we can get XM weather when that is, I guess we can just get it. It's pulling up fuel prices and all of that, which is interesting because I don't think this has a subscription. But that's nice to know. And then I guess you can search for movie theaters or... Yeah, this radio, it was always weird. It had cool stuff, but you're just thinking, huh? Well, a place to store your pictures and all of that. CD drive there. But down here, we do have our volume knob. We can turn the audio off there, adjust the volume there. And then I like the little graphic there. So as I touch the volume knob, that flickers. Then you have home button here, favorite button there. That'll pull up your presets and you can go through all of that. And then Bluetooth button. And then a back button here. But you can click that, use it as a scroll knob. And then you can go to configure. You can go through your languages, radio settings, all of that. So change your language, you can do that there. And then time and date, display settings, vehicle settings, and set all of that there. And then tone button, I like that we have that nice and big there, so I can just go through my bass and adjust that, go through my mid and adjust that. And then we have all the buttons for our info. The clock is here, quick shortcut for that, and the eject button for the CD player. And then down here we do have climate control, so we can put the Eco AC on when it's green, then we just have the regular AC there, and then we can choose fan direction from these four, and then we can cut the vents on and off, and then defrosters are here, temperature adjust there, and then hazards are right there. Traction control at 12 volt, and then for the shifter, hit the lever, reverse, neutral, drive, then you have a manual mode, and then it'll show you what gear you're in at the bottom there. Then a cup holder, a little storage pocket for your phone. There's your emergency brake. And then the center console cubby space has an aux input, USB-A, and a 12 volt in there. Decent sized storage. There's a view of the back seat from up here. Dome lights are there. We can set that either to off when the doors open, set it to go on with the doors, or just have them on there. And then garage door transmitter here, OnStar. Then back to the steering wheel. Blinkers, and then when the headlamps are on, high beams, we can toggle those on and off, and then flash by pulling up. And then windshield wiper controls one time. Then we have our intermittent low, high. We can adjust the intermittent here, and then it stops it off right there. Pull up for the front wiper fluid. Now cruise controls here, turn that on and off there, set, cancel. And then we do have our volume controls, and then this is for our radio station presets or track list, and you can hit this button here to go through your sources. And then this also serves as a mute button, and we have voice recognition right there. Now back to the gauge cluster, looking at that, I can go through the menu, and then in the vehicle information, I can hit set, and I can change from US to metric if I want to do that. And then the trip fuel info, you can have your trip meters there, fuel range, instant fuel economy, and then your average fuel economy. I like to keep that up. And then in the vehicle info menu, that's pretty much your tire pressure sensors, oil life, battery voltage, and then those units. And finally, here's our key fob with remote start, and that is turnkey there. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2015 Chevy Malibu out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Malibu LT, I guess the tachometer meter, the needle was in the way, because I did not see the check engine light, or maybe it did just come on when I started to drive it, but that's on now, so we'll see if that affects the test drive at all. But so far it's driving pretty normally. Brake pedal feels good too. We'll give it some throttle here. And I don't know if that's normal, but it was pretty loud coming out of that corner, but I love it. It sounded very aggressive. But we're gonna give it throttle again here, and actually we're gonna see how this manual mode works. Now the shifts seem pretty strong. Let's put this cruise on here. I didn't even know we were going that fast. But there we are, 6th gear, cruising there. We're in an instant fuel economy right at 33, 34. So that's cruising on a slight uphill. Now the average fuel economy in this car is 30.9, which is pretty great. And driving here, the ride is actually pretty good. Now I had two 2016 Malibus. One was an LT with leather, and then one was a Premier. And both of those are probably two of the best cars that I've owned. Actually, they're the best cars I've owned in terms of ride quality. The ride was just solid. I could feel the road, but it still floated kind of like a Buick. And this drives pretty similarly. Now, having just a tad bit of, I guess, roughness coming through the ride, but that does have to do, I'm sure, with the tire pressure. And I don't know if these tires even match. That has a lot to do with these issues. But my tire pressures are quite a bit off. I'm at 28 in the back left, while I'm at 34 in the front left. And then it's random numbers on the right side, so that probably has something to do with the ride. Now, like the Malibus, especially this one having 123,000 miles, you can kind of see it's held up for the most part. I feel like the engine and transmission are still in pretty good shape. Again, I don't know what the check engine light is for, but I'm assuming it's nothing too crazy because it's driving just fine. That could have been maybe the gas cap was loose or whatever, but still driving, again, pretty normally. And in terms of just how the radio's held up, everything, the good thing about the cloth leatherette interior is it's pretty hard to, I guess, mess up unless you cut it with something, as opposed to sitting on leather for a long time, the leather starts to crack, things of that nature. But here, again, with 124,000 miles, still looks like new, except for that one little tear in the stitching. But I'm starting to hear it now. It's that low idle that sounds rough. So I'm wondering if something's loose down in there, because that sound is not supposed to be there. Again, I liked it, but it sounds like something just loose down in there. Something came undone. Because again, the power's still there. And for what this car will probably cost, a great option. And the only issue that the Malibus really had, the 2016 I had, was just a few suspension parts. It wasn't like a whole shock or something, but just like certain things had to be replaced. And then the ride was good to go. It just kind of made a creaking sound when you hit hard bumps. And you know, people tend to say that the turbos will start to go out on all these turbocharged cars. You still have the naturally aspirated 4-cylinder here, so having that with the 6-speed automatic, if something were to go wrong with a car like this, it wouldn't be a crazy expensive fix if you found the right mechanic. But after I got that check engine light taken care of and that sound, I'd be very confident driving this thing anywhere. It's just very economical in terms of fuel. From the driver's perspective, plenty of room here. And I mean, just a good cheap car if you need a commuter. and it still pretty much checks all the boxes in terms of ride quality, steering feel, brake pedal feel, acceleration. But with all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2015 Chevrolet Malibu LT.